This is module one, how buyers actually value a business. Now, this is something that really needs explanation. So can you talk a little bit about the things that may seem valuable to the entrepreneur or the business owner that perhaps aren't seen as valuable by the buyer?
As someone who's founded a business, you get emotionally involved in it. You've built it up from often scratch. You've grown with the team. You're emotionally attached to the team. And so, yeah, sellers are inherently emotive about their own business. A buyer is not. They want to see clear financial reporting. Quite often, you'll see customers who think they've got clear financial reporting, but it is not clear financial reporting in the eyes of a buyer and the detail of due diligence that they require. Also, reputation in the marketplace. People often probably overvalue that. The figures are the figures. And so if you've got a great reputation, but your figures aren't flying, why? So reputation, buyers aren't really buying that. They're buying your performance. They're buying the ability to grow the business. Quite often, I think sellers or owners are also a bit complacent about growth. They think sort of, oh, but we grew 4% last year. Yeah, that's fine, but most buyers will want to see sort of double-digit growth in businesses. Only exceptions to that is where there's been potentially an industry downturn across all areas of that. So always have that growth factor, or be very clear about your strategic growth objectives within your business, because if this sale doesn't go through, you've still got to run a business, and you've still got to be out there trying to drive your business forward. So one thing I didn't mention previously was always have your plan B. Ultimately, you want to sell your business, but if no buyer comes forward at the right value target, you still got to have a very coherent strategic plan to grow your business for the next 3 to 5 years. So be really clear on that, because the stronger you are in that, the more value a buyer will see on that. So I do see buyers, sellers, and owners taking their foot off the pedal. Once their decision is to sell, they focus more on the sale process than they do on the growth of the business. So the growth of the business is still absolutely key during the sale process. If you imagine the sale process can happen quickly, 3 to 4 months, but generally it'll be a 6 to 9 month process, potentially longer. And if a seller sees a decline in performance during that period, again, they will come and discount. They may even walk away because you as a founder have focused on the sale process. You said you're not involved, yet the business performance is being affected. Why is that? So these things, it's really be focused on the growth of your business. Pre-sale and during sale is absolutely key.
Okay, so if those are all the things that aren't as valuable for a buyer, then what are the key things that a buyer will look at? How do they value your business?
Yeah, so I think with this, you've really got to look at it through a buyer's lens. And why are they looking to buy your business? And ultimately they have investors probably, whether it's in a fund or they have private funds, where they are looking to gain a higher return from investing in your business than they would normally do through a more passive investment. So if you're looking at it from that angle, they are looking to buy your business to get a higher return. And during that process, they are looking to see, if I buy your business for X, can I make that into 2X, 3X, or 4X? And over what period of time can I do that? So with that, they will have quite a rigorous process of due diligence that they will go through to value your business based on ultimately the risks that they see. What are the risks to stop me getting to 2 times, 3 times, 4 times the value of what I buy it for? And I guess from those risks, so they're looking at it from a totally non-emotional perspective. They couldn't care if you've been going for 20 years, 30 years. They couldn't care how many hours you put in. What they are looking at is they want a clear set of financial data. They want clear value benefits that your business is bringing. They are likely to want a strategic fit with their other investments and how that fits in to things. The multiple that they that they pay for your business will be them factoring in the risk factor for what they are doing and how quickly they can multiply that. I think we'll probably focus more on the multiple of earnings, because that is the most common, the common way to value a services business anyway. With that, they are looking for consistency of earnings, they're looking for sustainability of earnings, and they're looking for growth of earnings. So all businesses will have a peak curve where they've grown, and they probably want to see revenue growth as well as margin growth as well, because the margin growth demonstrates operational maturity in your business and efficiency within your business, and the revenue growth shows that you're still out there gaining market share. There's a lot of businesses I see who potentially haven't grown revenue but have become more operationally mature, which is fine. You've still got a valuable business, but a buyer will certainly look at that going, well, why haven't you grown? So they will discount that. That will be a discounting factor if they're looking to buy your business. So the key is the quality and sustainability of earnings. So a buyer will look at your customer base, and they will look at the concentration of that. And if you've got, for example, 500 customers all delivering the same percentage of revenue, then that's great, because there's actually little customer risk in any of those customers all going at once. They probably would want that to be industry agnostic, so across industries. So, for example, certainly in our area of business, where certain providers were completely reliant on the hospitality sector during COVID, they're obviously going to get hit. So industries with over-reliance on a particular sector can be a risk factor, although some industries, some providers with very specific industry focus could be a great strategic fit to certain buyers and add multiples to your so you've got to be you understand the spread and customer profile that you've got. If you've got single customers that are doing more than 15-20% of your revenue, then that's certainly a risk factor. And if they are a risk factor, what are the contractual obligations with that? In our process, we had a customer that was served notice during the buying process, and we had to negotiate our way around that and putting in potential earnouts for that specific customer should they not re-sign, or you're calculating what would happen if that customer doesn't re-sign, and those sort of areas. So contractual risk is key as well. So does your business rely on, is it like a retail store? Which effectively, if you shut your doors tomorrow, then you're not going to bring that's you done. Yeah. Or where does your revenue come from? If you've got contracted recurring revenue, then buyers will see much more value in that. So the higher the recurring revenue, ARR, annual recurring revenue, as it's called, the better, the more valuable your business will be. On top of that, you've got sort of one-off project revenues, and you could argue, is that from repeat customers, new customers, and such like. So buyers will always look at that profile and build in risk elements to that. Is it our ideal profile? Is it not? And if it's not, they'll discount. If it is, they might add multiples into that. One key area of value in a business is it reliant on the founder? And where if you're a founder and main shareholder looking to get out, and not stay in the business for 3 to 5 years, then if the business is reliant on you, then they will discount that a lot or insist on an earn out over 3 years, because what they don't want to do is you to leave the business, or you get your pot of cash and leave emotionally from the business, but still be in it as such, but not actually delivering what you're supposed to be doing. So they will certainly probably require earn out, or if not devalued, put significant discounts in as a result of that. And that goes down to client relationships, management decisions. Can the business run autonomously without you for a month if you weren't around? If it's yes, that's great. But I would advise anyone to transition customer, supplier relationships, key relationships over to other members of the team during the process, because founder alliance is, due diligence uncovers how much you are involved in the business. So you can't just put a show on this. It has to be at grassroots level. Have you handed things over? Your growth history. Have you grown over the last 3 to 5 years? I think big American investors look for the 30-30-30 rule, which is 30% growth in gross margin revenue, 30% growth in gross revenue. So it's, I don't think it needs to be as much as that, but you need to be demonstrating growth. You've got to be on an uphill curve. Otherwise, again, you'll be discounted in that sale process. Industry risks, whether it's regulation. For example, the defense industry at the moment will be selling at higher premiums than before because of the global situation we're in now. AI business, we've seen the bubble in AI businesses. Now, I think that's coming to an end. But investors want real cash flow. They want to know when the business, if you're a software as a service, sort of not pre-revenue, but a non-cash generating business, that's a lot different type of sale to a cash generating business. If you're selling a non-cash generating business, in other words, you've still got a burn rate, you're probably still at the investment stage as opposed to selling your business. But quite often investors are looking at when's it going to stop burning cash, and when are we going to start to build a revenue chain and get return on it? So all those things and all those areas affect values that buyers will pay. Again, all industries are different, all processes are different. Comparables are out there to show you what your business will be worth. Quite often you will overvalue it because you think, oh, but we're not like that. But when you get under the cover, there are things that need to be put right, or you've got too much customer reliance, too much founder reliance, and such like. The key thing to remember is go through the preparation of all the areas that we're going to discuss through these video sessions. You can be as fully prepared as you want, but you still may not hit your value target because actually the multiples that you require, you're not going to achieve for your business. So with that in mind, get comparables, don't overvalue your business, be realistic about what you think it's going to be worth, and only embark on a sale process if you think you're going to hit that value target. You may get approaches well over your value target, but if you're not prepared, buyers could soon knock you back to your value target, and then during due diligence, pull you back below your value target. So again, having your plan B to walk away, having your thick red lines, the more upfront the process is, the better.